Today's video is sponsored by Native Sons Goods, makers of the best woven guitar, bag, and camera straps on planet Earth. And now the best is even better with a new line of hand-woven Maya Serape straps with USA organic herringbone hemp backing. Get 10% off when you use the link in the description, and remember, when you support my sponsor, you support this channel, and I sure appreciate it. Alright, how's it going, guys? Brad the Guitarologist here. This is going to be an addendum to this Cadet Model 122 Danelectro video I just did. I wired the isolation transformer, and I did it in such a way that it's actually on the primary with no switch. Some people pointed out, yeah, that's going to leave some current on the primary side if you don't have the switch on the primary side. The reason I didn't move the switch to the primary side along with the fuse was because in my thinking I was going to have to I was going to have to put a terminal or something on the chassis, because there are a lot of things that are using those as terminal points. So my thinking was, if I don't do that, I won't have to do that, and then I'll just tell the guy to unplug it when he's not using it, which, you know, would make some sense. But what we're going to do now, I'm just going to go ahead and move the switch and the fuse to the primary side, because it does make more sense. Because if you turn this thing on with the amp off, you'll be able to see here, it's actually drawing more wattage than I thought it would. I decided to go ahead and test it out, and sure enough, it's drawing 2.4 watts of power off. I mean, obviously you can unplug it and it's not going to draw anything, and a switch would do the same thing. It would drop it down to zero. Without the switch on the primary side, we're drawing 2.4 watts. That's just heat that's basically sitting on the inside the transformer. It's being dissipated by the transformer itself if left plugged in. It is a bit of a fire hazard, so we're going to move the switch and the fuse to the primary. Alright, so this isn't going to take very long to do. There's actually already a hole in the chassis right here, so I won't even have to drill one. We'll put a terminal right here on this little convenient hole. Move, there are two connections here on the sleeve of the fuse holder. We will move both of those connections over to a terminal, and then we'll have a place to wire some things. So let's do that, and then we'll clip these wires that we have soldered here, or cut them, or desolder them rather, and move the power cord. Okay, so I have this thing rewired. I've got a retainer down here. I've moved the other retainer that I had previously up to here, so I've got the power cord held on there twice. On the primary side, we've got the hot that is going to the switch. It goes through the switch, through the fuse, and then back out of the primary side of the transformer. On the secondary side of the transformer, we come out of it, go right here to this terminal that I put in. There was a nice convenient hole there actually for me to put that terminal in. I'm not even sure why I didn't do that to begin with. So that's been done. Go into the circuit, it comes back out of the circuit right here at this point at the line ground. You can see the red wire, and it goes back out through the secondary. So now when you turn this thing off, it will actually not draw anything at all, instead of drawing like 2 watts. Also have tacked these down with a little bit of silicone, because I wanted to keep this point as stable as I could. It's got a lot of stuff tied to it. It's not really flopping around. It was already sort of tied into a couple different places, so it wouldn't have been a big deal, but it will just help kind of tack it down. Also move the shielding for the transformer to the line ground instead of the chassis ground. Also move the line ground itself, the actual ground going to the wall, from the chassis to that point also, and I think that quieted it down considerably. Another thing, I went ahead and changed the orientation once again of the speaker. I moved the speaker orientation so that instead of being over here on this side, where it's actually a little bit closer to the inputs, I've moved it to the bottom, so it's as far away from the inputs as it can get. On the power transformer, the orientation puts it at a perpendicular angle, so quiets it down even more. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, someone pointed out, and this was the dumbest mistake really probably of all of it, and the fact that the thing worked without, you know, really any hitches is just due to the fact that there isn't a whole lot of plate voltage in one of these amplifiers on a 12AU6, so it didn't really matter. But yes, indeed, someone pointed out on in the comments that I had forgotten to add the capacitor before the pot instead of after the pot. So I had the capacitor after the tone and volume going into the next stage instead of before those. So yeah, really stupid. But anyway, so those are the changes. Those are the things that have been done. It's ready to go now, and I think it's not only safe, it's also really quiet. You can see here how quiet it is. We'll test that in just a second. Okay, so here's everything wired back in. As you can see what I mean here, the output transformer on the speaker is now far away from the inputs. When you put these down, you see it won't be over here on this side near the inputs, inducting noise, and it also won't be over here near the power transformer, so it's kind of split the difference whenever you set this thing down. So I think that's going to be pretty good. I think it's all wired clean. I'm happy with it now because once again, I don't have the problem of this thing drawing current whenever it's on. You can see here we're now drawing 0 watts. So that's really a better state of affairs, and it won't draw anything at all until you flip the switch, and then obviously it'll start to draw current, and it's not excessive current. And I think we're doing pretty good with this thing right now. So, and noise-wise, we'll wait till it comes up here. This thing is very quiet now. Actually, this is quieter than it was before. So we're even better. I'm glad I opened it back up. Thanks to everybody who, you know, makes suggestions on all my videos, not just the last one, but all of my videos. You guys, you know, are always inspiring me to do better, to look at things differently, to try to improve. You know, I don't come into the world fully formed. Nobody does. I do make mistakes. This was definitely one of those times when I could have done things better from the get-go, and I'm glad that you guys pointed that out, a couple of you. So thank you for that. Thank you for continuing to watch my channels, and for now, we'll see y'all later. Dead quiet, just dead quiet. Really, I mean, well, not dead quiet. It's got a little bit of a hum, but mostly undetectable.